Good morning and welcome to all. We are very delighted that you are here to witness the unveiling ceremony of Taste and Tales, recipes to feed the heart and soul. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you, and it's my hope that you will find these stories very interesting and it will celebrate cultural awareness in you. Before we begin the celebration, I would like you to view our PowerPoint and watch our journey from learning and practicing to perfection. Thank you for watching our PowerPoint. I hope it was informative. At this point, I would like our readers to showcase some of our stories. And now I would request Matt Semler, our administrative intern.
The first story I'll be sharing is titled West African Peanut Soup with Chicken and was submitted by Mamory. Story. When I came to America in 2015, I had a hard time to find fresh food. All I got was fast food or processed food. After 6 months, I decided to solve that problem. I can't keep eating frozen food, I told myself. I started to think about what African recipe I could cook here to remind me of Africa. Then I came up with the peanut butter sauce. The first time I talked to my host family that I was going to cook this recipe, they started to laugh because here people put peanut butter on bread. I told them everyone will be asking about this recipe again if you taste it. I bought the ingredients, vegetables, and chicken. When they saw the ingredients, they asked me the following questions. How will the taste be? How can you mix carrot, onion, etc., and chicken? I was smiling while preparing the food. When the recipe was ready, none of them were willing to taste it. I heard, "Wow, it smells good," said the kids of the couple. Afterwards, everyone took a plate. We started eating. Finally, nothing was left over. My host family said they wish I could have done that earlier. It is so delicious. Today, the woman of this family learned how to cook the peanut butter sauce, this African recipe. It's funny because in my culture, women learn how to cook early. I am from the Ivory Coast of West Africa. I have 5 siblings, 4 girls. All of them have learned to cook during their childhood with our mom. By the time they turn 13 years or over, cooking is not a secret and becomes a habit. I am happy I taught a Caucasian woman an African recipe, and she knows how to make it without my supervision. Never judge before you taste it, I said to my host family. Generally speaking, never judge or pretend to know anything, just by your thinking. Now they cook peanut butter once a week.
Was the story good?
Yes.
No. So you all will get a free copy of the book when you leave. Thank you, Matt. Now I would request our principal, Stephanie Jones, to read the second story.
Thank you, Purnima. Today I have Good Fudge, which was submitted by Kurt Turbach, and he is our counselor here at Hawthorne Elementary. His tale is, as a small child growing up in a small northeastern South Dakota town that was comprised of mostly 150 German Catholics, I thought the Christmas holiday season would never arrive. With 5 other siblings, I would wait, not so patiently, for the color of the fall to pass and the cold north winds to start to blow. As the snow would start to drift across our front sidewalk and the calendar finally turned to December, I knew it was getting closer. The official start to the holiday season in our household was the coming of St. Nick. The eve of December 6th, my siblings and I would be frantic and impatient to finish our evening meal because we wanted to catch the little old man that delivered the treats to our front doorstep. Our kitchen was in the back of our house and was always warm and filled with delicious aromas. My mom was a wonderful cook who took pride in her skills providing for her large family. The smells and delicious food was never enough to keep the 6 children calm on this evening, as we would be seated at the table when the front doorbell would ring and chaos would arrive. The 6 of us would race to the front door and stand on the stoop to see if we could catch a glimpse of that little old man. It never failed, we would be too late to see him, but there would always be a sack on the steps. With the wind and the cold biting us, the 6 of us would retreat inside the house, eager to see what was in the sack. Tradition would dictate that inside the sack would be a 6-pack of Coca-Cola. This was always a treat, since it was only one of the few times within the year that we could have soda to drink. Along with the soda, there would be a book of Lifesavers candy and a tin of fudge. The soda was gone immediately, and the candy may have made it to Christmas Day. The fudge was delectable, creamy chocolate treat that melted in your mouth. As I got older, I realized my mother had the same fudge recipe that My mother passed away 3 years ago, but I and my daughters continued to use her recipe to celebrate our holiday season. It is amazing how a small piece of fudge can transport me back to when I was a small boy. I hope you enjoy my mother's good fudge recipe.
Thank you, Stephanie. Now I would request our literacy teacher who taught us how to write and read all year long to come and read about Tamayo's recipe.
Thank you, Tornina. So, Miyako Walnut Ozoni by Tamayo. Ozoni, or zoni, is a mochi soup traditionally eaten for the New Year celebration in Japan. Mochi is rice cake. The ingredients are varied according to the region or household, with vegetables, meat, or fish. It is believed that our ancestors venerated as the deities of the rice fields and local mountains, and they come down from the high mountain to bring happiness, rich harvest, and prosperity in the new year. In Japan, the harvested crops are dedicated to the deities of crop fields, and then the special dishes are shared to us for celebration. In East area of Japan, ozoni is seasoned with soy sauce, and the mochi is cut into square or rectangle shape. On the contrary, in the West, the soup is seasoned with miso, which is fermented soybean paste, with the round-shaped mochi. The round shape is a symbol of peace and harmony. The square rectangle shape means victory. My ozoni recipe is unique. I learned it from my mom. My mother grew up in the port town called Tokonahama, which means Octopus Beach, in Miyako City, northeast of Japan. Before she got married, she didn't know how to cook ozoni because she was the youngest in a huge family. She learned how to cook all by herself after she got married. I still remember when I lived with my parents, grandparents, brother and sisters during early mornings of the new year. My mother would start cooking the soup with dried bonito and kombu seaweed. My sisters and I helped by peeling and cutting the ingredients. Our house would be filled with the delicious smell of soup. My grandfather would start toasting some pieces of mochi on the wood stove. My father and younger brother were in charge of preparing walnut dip. My grandmother cracked walnuts that were collected at the mountain behind our house, and the kernels would be taken out of their shells the day before. I really liked helping my grandmother. My grandparents were responsible for maintaining the taste of walnut dip. For me and my family, ozoni is the soup made by the entire family. It was one of the very exciting events every year for me.
Thank you. I hope the rest of the stories will be a pleasure for you to read. Now I would, before I would ask Matt, I would just like to acknowledge our artists who have done a great job when we published our book. The front art was done by Saurav Ghosh. When I talked to Saurav, would you be willing to do our front cover? He willingly said yes, he didn't ask me any questions. He said, I'll give you a couple of samples and you see how it goes. But the first draft, what he gave was the best. He's actually very good at it. And then when I asked Mr. Sheldon Pereira, to do the logo for Parent University, I said we didn't have a good logo. We thought our Parent University is growing and everybody is learning about Parent University and we are on Facebook, so we should have a professional logo. I said, would you be willing? And he said yes, and I think he, had a couple of hours of hard work to get that professionally done. So we would like to acknowledge both of them, and I would request our administrative intern, Mr. Matt Semler, to give away the plaques to them.
Oh. We want to thank our illustrator and the creative artwork displayed on the front page of the book of Taste and Tales to Mr. Saurav Ghosh. Thank you so much. And we'd also like to thank the illustrator, Mr. Sheldon Pereira, for the wonderful work on the logo. And one other person person we wanted to thank was, and it was mentioned earlier, but Rachel Lane for the formatting on the pages of the book as well. So well done, and we appreciate all the work you all did.
Rachel Lynn. Now is the time to unveil our Parent University Taste and Tales, Recipes to Feed the Heart and Soul. I would request our principal, Stephanie Jones, to unveil the book.
I asked her if this is like Vanna White and I get to be Vanna here. But all right, so first of all, we want to say thank you to Dawn Dirksen for, from City for the Educator Fund Literacy, and to Father Nicholas DeCruz from St. Michael's Parish for the Social Ministry Committee Fund. Your generosity has helped us to publish the Taste and Tales recipes to feed the heart and soul. And we also need to say thank you to James Murata for encouraging the ideas of creating recipes and the memoirs, and for spending many countless hours perfecting the rough draft. And thank you to Stacy Walters for teaching a course on how to use the information, and narrative graphic organization and descriptive writing. And all the volunteers, thank you so much at the Parent University who helped us with the book. And, are you ready? If I can get the box open.
My husband did a good job of packing it.
Good
Good
work.
work.
It's turned upside down. There we go. Thank you.
I would now request Leah John to say a vote of thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Today is not just a day of book unveiling for Parent University. It is a day when our dream and vision for this year became a reality. It is a day of achievement and celebration to whoever is associated with Parent University. First of all, I would like to thank James Murada, Stacy Walters, and Rachel Lee, who have selflessly invested their countless time and effort to make this project a success. I also would like to thank all those who have contributed their delicious recipes and valuable memories for this book. And finally, on behalf of Parent University, I would like to thank all those who have taken time to come here and join us on this celebration. As a sign of our gratitude, we would like you all to have a copy of our recipe book and also a taste of the ethnic snacks, Greek punch and coffee that we have arranged. And finally, I would like to request you all to sign a quote, your favorite quote, on our book club logo posters, and also would like to take your time to look around all the kitchen utensils that we have displayed from around the world. So once again, thank you for coming. Looking forward to meet you all next year. Thank you.
Now I would request all of you to stand up and sing the Make a Difference song. But wait 1 minute, I'll just get the thing on. So we have the words here and the actions. Okay, please stand. Could somebody turn off the light, please?
Everyone can give a little for the good of one and all. Opportunities now, every minute,
Okay.
From the top of my head. Everybody was here.